This podcast was recorded on Awabakal land and Ngunnawal country. Hi, I'm Kurt Fearnley, Paralympian.
And I'm Chad Perris, Paralympian.
Chad Perris, we have 11 weeks or 79 days or 1,896 hours until the Paris kickoff. How are you feeling, buddy?
Oh, I'm excited. It's a great time of the year. We've got sports coming at us left, right, and centre at the moment, Kurt. So very excited for the next 79 days to roll through. There's going to be plenty more ups and downs for a lot of athletes along the way there, and we'll talk about quite a few of the ups today. It's been there's been a lot happen over the last couple of weeks. So
for the listeners at home who don't understand, but you'll be running in the Paralympic Games within that period of time. Have you wrapped yourself up in cotton wool? Are you taking vitamins by the absolute bucket load? Is your pee, or isn't it, fluoro yellow and staining everything that it touches because you have so many vitamins that you're going to have to knock down? Because your health is so important over the coming weeks.
Absolutely, and I'm based in Canberra, so the wrapping up in cotton wool analogy is pretty good because it's so bloody cold outside. So we're, I'm outside of the last night. I was out there it was dark by the time we started training, and it's sort of 6-7 degrees. So you're wrapping up, and trying to stay away from the sickness as well is another thing through the winter. So a little bit going around right now, but I've managed to stay away from it at the moment. But it's a pretty exciting time.
What about when you get to the games, Chad? What other sport other than athletics would you love to go and watch?
I think there's not necessarily one sport in particular, but I've been to 2 Paralympics now, and Tokyo, we weren't allowed to do anything but be in our own little bubble. But Rio, I didn't get to see any other sports, unfortunately, so we were a bit spread out at those games. And I'd love to go and see some wheelchair rugby or even the boccia as well. I think those are 2 really, really exciting ones I'd like to go and have a look at and see how it is live, because I know what it's like watching it on telly and things like that. But I think seeing a sport live and with a crowd is something that's going to be pretty cool in Paris.
And last little question into how you're going to live over in Paris, but what do you do to celebrate? When you're done, you've been at this you did this very kind of contained life for the last 12 months. How do you let your hands down and celebrate when you get into the games and the job's over?
I'll have several beers after the competition, as I'm sure you well know, Kurt. We
don't know what you're talking about, Chad.
We always have a good time out there. It's definitely just sort of having a bit of time to reflect with your people in the village. I think I'm yet to go through selections, but if everything goes to plan, I'll be there, and hopefully my coach and a training partner will be there as well. So we're going to have a lot of good times post competition, hopefully. But the eyes are obviously well and truly on the comp itself, and whatever happens afterwards is just going to be something to talk about afterwards. So really keen to get over there and enjoy myself.
Mate, there is so much Paralympic sport on at the moment. There are athletes rocketing around the world trying to lock in their position, but also increase their form for the Paris Paralympic Games. What got you out of your seat yelling, "You little ripper," over the last couple of weeks?
I've got to say it's not an athlete performance, but it's a sports performance and seeing the Swimming Australia trials overnight. You've got the Paralympic trials along with the able-bodied trials on the same coverage, live on primetime television, all together being celebrated as one, equally as we know it should be. And I think you're not seeing these events hidden away early in a program or in ad breaks or after the coverage is finished. I think that it's incredible that swimming have taken this initiative and been able to showcase Paralympic sport and the Paralympic athletes that are there and hopefully going to be challenging in Paris. So I know that for me it's a pretty tough one. I've been in 2 athletics events this year where my event has been the last one on the program before the live stream starts or before the main program kicks off. So I think there's a lot of good that other sports can do to do that, and swimming have absolutely hit the nail on the head with and doing some really good stuff. And seeing the Paralympians out there with their able-bodied counterparts is incredible.
I remember the first time that I got to compete in Australia in a live streamed event straight onto television. I told my family, everyone was crazy excited. And then I was in the middle of the program. It was a 3-minute race, 1,500, and it was exactly in the 3.5-minute ad break. And everybody, including me, it's a hard thing to get your head around as a disabled athlete. You have this belief that we are making progress, that we are, reaching more audiences, that the community are genuinely invested and interested in what you do. But when you hit a stumbling block like that, it hurts. It's tough to swallow.
Yeah, absolutely. And swimming is showing now that it can be done. And it's something that the public want to see. It's networks want to see it. And I think it's just going to become the norm in the next few years, and particularly in the lead up to Brisbane 2032 and following that. But yeah, I think that swimming are starting off really well now, and it's something that they've done, and that's what got me yelling "You Little Ripper," because it's really good that's been done by them.
You Little Ripper swimming. My You Little Ripper moment is para table tennis. Now we have 3. That's what I said. 3 world number ones going into the Paris Paralympic Games in Sam von Eyman in class 11, Yan Chen in class 10, and Lena Lei in class 9. And we have also had some massive results in the Taipei Para Open. Congratulations to everyone. But we did get a gold medal from Melissa Tapper in the WR5 Class 9, Class 10 women's singles, and also another gold to Nathan Pelizia from the WR29 Class 8 men's singles. 2 gold medals. But you know what? There's one medal that stood out for me, a crowd favourite, a movement favourite, the bronze medal to the great Denny de Toro. Congratulations, Denny. Denny's already qualified for the Paralympic Games. That is a 2-time Paralympic captain going in her, 80th Paralympics. We would take Denny every single Paralympic game. She's amazing. But to see her get the bronze medal was also pretty good. We also got a silver for Chris Addis, Yasser Hosseini, and K.Y. Lamb got a mixed double silver medal. Yeah, there were so many, but congratulations to the entire para table tennis team. Chad Perris, what else is happening around the grounds?
Yeah, the Aussie para equestrian riders posting more PBs and Paris qualifying scores in Germany over the last week or so. Now, congrats to Emma Booth and Melissa Cannon, who have both ridden qualification scores, and Will Matthew finished 10th as well. So there's plenty going on in para equestrian, and watch this space as the team builds towards Paris.
Also, the Steelers, the amazing wheelchair rugby team, they have brought home a silver from the Canada Cup. It was a hard-fought final against the Japanese, and they lost 54-46. But do you know what this means? This means that the run that the Steelers have taken into their previous 2 gold medals was that they used this competition to trial different formulas, to work different teammates against each other, to check out really new defensive modes. And then when they've lost this cup, they've won the games. So I'm not going to lock it in, but if history and luck has anything to do with it, we'll be seeing some amazing things from the Steelers. It's also, I just cannot believe how much is happening with the announcements of teams. I just wanted to give another shout out to Jemison Leeson and with ramp assistant Jasmine Hayden, and also the great Dan Michelle with ramp assistant Ash Madden. They've both been named into the Paralympic team. And we've got a up-and-comer athlete. I don't know, 17 years old. Can I still refer to up-and-comer? Grace Brimlow. She's been working towards a qualification for Los Angeles in 2028 Paralympic Games, but after amazing years in triathlon, she could be heading to Paris. 17 years old and currently sitting 3rd on the Paralympic Games ranking. So watch this space. Now, Chad Perris, who is one of your absolute favorite team members, somebody that you would cross the fingers and the toes to see have an amazing Paralympic Games? Just name one.
Just name one. I'm going to go with Michael Roeger.
I'm going to go with Michael Roeger too. I'm there. You had me. Michael Roeger. Why, Chad? Before embarrass him as we introduce him.
Embarrass him. I've been on every single team that I've been a part of from 2013 to now. Rogues has been there on that team alongside me. So always love to see our great people on our team succeeding. And Rogues at the top of the list for me.
Look, I think that you mentioned Emma Booth competing with a broken pelvis. She eats concrete for breakfast. I think this man, Michael Roeger, not only eats it for breakfast, but he comes back for secondsies and has it again for morning tea. Michael Roeger, welcome to you, Little Ripper. How you doing?
Thanks, Kurt. Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me. I'm well. It's about 1 degree outside in Canberra, but apart from that, I'm going pretty good, mate.
Yeah, we've talked a bit about the Canberra weather already on the pod today. It's pretty brutal out here. But how do you go having a run this morning at say 6 a.m, mate? I can't imagine that'd be too fun.
No, mate, it wasn't. But the best thing about this morning was the sunrise. It was beautiful, so that made it all the much better. And I think the day's actually got a bit colder, so I think the best time of the day was early this morning.
How have you pulled up from the competition last week? A couple of weeks ago, you were able to get a bronze medal in the men's 1500 metre T46. That was at Kobe in Japan at the World Para Athletics. How's the body feeling, and what's the process now leading into the games?
Yeah, I think the body's good, the mind's good. It was we don't usually get an opportunity like that to compete against our competitors at a World Championships 3 months out from the Paralympic Games. So it was a great opportunity for Fearnley and myself to put this in the calendar and have it as a stepping stone where ultimately is the prizes in Paris in August, September. So it was good for me to see the competitors, and, they're better than I thought. It was a bronze medal, but I've got some work to do over the next few months and hopefully turn that bronze into gold. And for me, it's just, less is more. Less is more at the moment. I don't want to make the same mistakes as I did leading into Tokyo Paralympics in 2021.
What strengths did you see in those guys that you were surprised by?
Yeah, well, for a start, the Russian who won, we didn't think he was a 348 guy. He goes out. He was sitting on me for the whole race, but he runs 348, so that's really good to know. We could have gone there and had a sit and kick race, but like Philo said, we wouldn't have found out much information about those athletes and how fit they are. I know how fit the Russian is, the Bulgarian. He's beaten me the last 2 times at World Championships. And, it's funny, though. I do really believe I can beat them in Paris, and I feel more confident this year than last year that I can beat them. I think, we just got to turn the screws a bit more and make it a 346 race, not a 348, 350 race. And I think I can do that. But as you know, Kurt, leading from the front and going hard is hard to do.
It's tough.
Rogues, the marathon's been omitted from Paris, so you step back to the 15 a bit. Now, what's the plan with you and your coach Philo now between here, and what was the sort of mindset that you had to go into to get back to the 1500 for the marathon? Because it's a massive drop down in distance, and the training must differ a fair bit.
Yeah, it does, and I think physically I got back down to the 1500 a lot quicker than mentally. I mean, I had a disappointing result in Tokyo in the marathon. Then 2 months later, I find out that they're taking the marathon out of the T46 category. And if I want to go to the Paralympics for the athletics, I had to go back down to the 1500, and that's the longest event I can do. And I think from the end of 2021, Philo and I had a plan to get to 2024 in Paris to be at our best. And it took a while, definitely mentally, to get around that, because I thought my 1500 metre track days were gone. And I think with the marathon, I still feel like, I had so much more to achieve and so much more to do. But, it could come around in a full circle. I start the 1500 and I'm, might finish back at the 1500 and hopefully get that dream of winning a gold medal. But I think for me, it was just about, getting fast again, getting strong in the gym, doing a lot of plyometrics. And it took us probably 14 months to start running well over the 1500 again, transitioning back to that. And, Philo, to his credit, he got me running, the best I've ever done. Last year, we broke the world record in the 1500, running 344 in America. And, we've gone from strength to strength, and hopefully we continue that.
Mate, you mentioned that you don't want to make the same mistakes that you had leading into previous competitions. Now, we almost feel like it's ingrained as you're kind of part of everyone's story in this show. So we already know about some of the tougher elements of your career. But can you give insight into what had happened in previous games and what you've learned and what it kind of changed in you?
Yeah, I think for me, I've always, I'm very competitive, and I'm very, competitive against myself, and I always want to be better, and always want to be stronger, and always want to be fitter. And, I look at my training times, I'm like, I want to be better than, last time I did that session. And I remember June, early July in 2021, right before we were going to head away to Cairns, I was training for the marathon. I was, doing such amazing sessions. I was feeling like Superman. I just kept pushing it. I just kept turning the screws, and was doing too much. And if I could take 80% of that training and just coast into those games, I would. But it just wasn't in my DNA, and I just went too hard and ended up breaking and having a fracture in my leg. So for me now, it's all about just relaxing, just train at 90%. Don't do anything superhuman. Don't do anything special. Just get through the next 6 weeks before we head away overseas for an altitude camp, and don't do anything crazy. Keep checking. I've got to keep checking in with my support team, and that's one thing I've really tried to do over the last year. Is even if I don't think I need to check in with my my dietitian or my physio, just do it. Just to get that another pair of ears or another pair of eyes on my body and on my situation has really helped me in Philo, because we're a great team together. But if we have other people come in and just give us a little nudge or say, hey, back it off a little bit, or do this or do that, has really helped. So doing that, not doing too much, and just being confident and trust the process to 100%. So and that's what I'm doing, and the body and mind feel really good at the moment, and I just got to keep it like that. And I've had a really consistent 12 months, and as we know, it's about consistency. And if you can just be consistent without any breaks, without any interruptions, we're going to be at our best, and that's what I'm doing.
It's impressive to listen to the insights of somebody who's been to 4 Paralympic Games and be able to go to that sort of length and be able to reflect and acknowledge the things that you could improve on, and the different people that you can listen to late in your career to be able to extend you through to these games, and hopefully we're going to see you at games after Paris as well. But I think that's something that's really impressive, and a lot of young athletes can potentially take from, is being able to listen to people and listen to and to be able to go out there and really reflect on what you're doing and how you're going, and being able to take that. Now, what do you think will be the difference between now and Paris, along that you say that the training at, say, just below 100% to not break yourself?
Yeah.
Do you think that that's the main difference?
Yeah, and that's for someone like my personality, that's tough, because you always want to be at your best. You always want to be training, your training times at your best. And but what I know is the more training days on the track is I'm going to be better. And like I mentioned before, for me, it's about consistency and just knocking off those 120K weeks. It doesn't need to be 150 now. I've got so much behind me, and I just need to be making sure the next 90 days that I'm on the track and just being, consistent with my training and not trying to be a hero. And I've learned that, and I've learned the hard way. I've had a lot of setbacks and a lot of struggles, but I know that, these are my 5th games, and there's still my best yet in me. So I just know deep down in my heart that I can be at my best in Paris. And, I don't want to do anything to jeopardize that. And I just want to keep listening to the people around me and doing what I know that I need to do to be at my best. So yeah, just consistency and just cruising along. And then that last 6 weeks, that's when we turn the screws up. That's when we're in Switzerland. That's when we're training hard. And that's when the difference is going to be. Not now, not in June. So yeah, a few more months time, I'll be really cranking it.
So a few more months, it's actually 11 weeks or 79 days or 1,896 hours.
Getting me excited now.
Until it kicks off. Mate, what are you excited about? Like what's the thing? You've been around for 5 games and not your first rodeo. What's still getting you excited?
Yeah, I think like I've touched on, it's just trying to be better, trying to improve, and that childhood dream of standing on top of the podium singing the national anthem. And that's a big one for me. And that's what gets me up at 6 a.m. on a freezing cold Canberra morning. That desire and that will to win, that excites me. We've got a great team in the athletics team, especially. We've got some really good young crop coming through. We've got some older crop like me. But, yeah, and this is the first time at the games I'm going to have my partner, Lauren, she's coming over. My twin brother, Christopher's going to be there, and my 3 nephews in the crowd. So that's going to be special as well to have that family at a Paralympic Games in the crowd. And, just knowing, these things only come around once every 4 years, and to know I've got another crack. And the exciting thing for me is I know that, I'm going to be at my absolute best, and I'm going to be really competitive for that gold medal.
Love to hear it, mate. Well, thanks for coming on the pod, Rogues. We really appreciate having you here, and super excited to see what happens between now and Paris. And then I know I'll be in the stadium when you're out there in Paris. It's going to be really exciting to see you race, and looking forward to spending a fair bit of the journey along once we're there with you. So looking forward to that. So thanks very much for coming along.
Do you know what day, Rogues?
Yeah, Kurt, I'm on I'm early in the program this time, on the 31st of August at about 10:45 in the morning Paris time. So, to all the listeners and everyone out there, just tune into the Paralympics. It's going to be a hell of a ride, and I think Team Australia are going to put on a good show for everyone.
Rip in, Rogues. Good job.
Thanks, guys.
Chad, have you shared a room with Rogues?
No, I haven't. I've been... Every team that I've been on, 2013, 15, 16, 17, 19, 21, 23, 24, Rogues has been there. So, I've seen a lot of him at major championships, and how he operates here in Canberra, obviously being in the same training environment as well. So there's a lot of people on the team that you want to see everybody succeed, but that the people that you see around the place and spend a lot of time with, and you spend a long period of time with as well. I think that it'd be special to see him standing on top of the podium come Paris.
I just wanted to make sure that I was still your favourite roommate that we've ever had on the podcast. Just making sure that...
Yeah, we'll hold that one strong.
Thank you, Chad Perris, and thank you to our listeners for downloading this podcast. We love all things about parasport, and we want to share how amazing it is with the rest of the world, but we need your help to do that.
We need you to tell all your friends about what we're doing, and then you must leave us a review as well.
A nice review, a great review. And we might actually check in on some of those reviews next time we're here at You Little Ripper. So between now and the next episode, leave a review, say something nice, 5 stars, and we'll cross back to it on the next show. And we'll also be back with more interviews with your favourite athletes. So make sure you follow You Little Ripper on social media or wherever you get your podcasts.
Now, we'd like to say a big thank you to Toyota for supporting this episode of You Little Ripper. Oh, what a feeling. Thanks, Toyota.
Thanks, Toyota.